Alan. We got to bring in Daddy Stanford. And let me tell you more, Madam Speaker. The honourable member for St. John's Woolleys laid an ultimatum to the member for St. Philip South. And you know I'm not lying. Challenge it to him now. That if you all didn't bring in Stanford, he would left all you. He didn't give up his whole career as a successful lawyer to make sure that you all don't have no investment and no jobs created in the country. He wants to see the creation of jobs in the country.
That is why we want to fix you.
Madam Speaker.
Sir, do you require more time?
Madam Speaker.
Do you require more time?
Yes, please, Madam Speaker. Can I have an additional half an hour, Madam Speaker? Can? Madam Speaker, this submission by the honourable member, I'm complimenting you for it. I think that your submission was the wisest decision that you ever made. But at the same time, Madam Speaker, it was the most foolish choice of the UP administration. It was wise because creation of new jobs, and it will do precisely what all states and what the previous ALP administrations sought to do over the years, and that is provide jobs for our people so that we can succeed economically. He's not just the Minister of Finance, he's the Minister of the Economy. And if he didn't provide jobs for this country, you'll be the first to go and tell the Prime Minister he's a failure as the Minister of Finance. All he doing is taxing the people. You think he's stupid? Madam Speaker, however, the wisdom in the act is that, as I said, it creates new wealth and new jobs. The decision is unwise because it reflects the failure of this UPP administration to attract other investment. And 8 months and 2 weeks following the capture of the government of the polls, no Dr. Newton, no Mac Emanuel, no Minister Lovell, and no Dr. Court have landed one single investment project in this country. It's only you, members for St. Philip South, that travel into Miami and Tallahassee and Trinidad and looking investment all over. None of them will do that. None of them. So the Minister of Finance, he said, we have to correct this dismal failure. And so, the reversal on the Stanford reflects this failure. But you know, the UPP actually had begun to believe its own lies. It believed, Madam Speaker, in its own propaganda that new investment will just rush into the shores of Antigua and Barbuda automatically without going out there. Do like what Lester Bird and Marshall used to do, man. They used to jump on a plane every other week and go and look investment all over. And they bought investment. They bought investment. They grew this economy. Madam Speaker, a jurisdiction without personal income tax, with a stable, predictable government that does not flip-flop on their policies, with leadership, Madam Speaker, that is seasoned and experienced, that reflects the core set of beliefs and the key indicators that will be relied upon by foreign investors to do business in your country. But the electorate of this country took a risk. They voted in the UPP government, but they voted for a government that surely will change the rules during the race, Madam Speaker. The UPP failed to realize that without a track record, it would fail to attract competitor investments. So, Madam Speaker, they have reversed their whole position on Alan Stanford. The hypocrisy of it, Madam Speaker, is evident for all to see. The hypocrisy, the treachery, the flip-flop is treason to the people of this country. After they masqueraded all over this country and plastered, you remember the posters they put up on all the flyers they put up about Stanford? Uncle Stan, want your land? Uncle Stan, want your land? But Madam Speaker, they're not telling the people of this country the whole story. They're not telling, and I support the Ghana Island project. I support Alan Stanford. I support every investment of Alan Stanford in this country. But come clean and tell the people, it's not just Ghana Island you're giving him. It's not just the lands of Coconut Hall, 1,100 acres of land on the mainland that you're giving him. But what about the nearly 200 or 150 acres of land of Crabs Peninsula? Including the Antigua Brewery lands. Including the lands, Madam Speaker, that are occupied by the Antigua and Barbuda Defense Force. They're not telling us that those lands are included. They're not telling the country that they've already agreed to give Stanford the lands where the RSS, that is the Regional Security Service, comes and practice. They're not telling us all that, Madam Speaker. They must come clean with the citizens of this country. Put all the cards, lay them on the table, so that you don't have your General Secretary resigning. What about your National Economic and Social Council? You have forgotten about them. You passed the legislation, you put that on the back burner now. That gone out the window. It's irrelevant what George Ryan and Sir Eustace Francis and Mac Yabbott and all them think about Ghana Island. That is irrelevant. The Prime Minister says he's prepared to put, Madam Speaker, his political survival at risk. Am I right, sir? You've prepared to put your political survival. You believe in it so much. But where's the consultation? Where's the national dialogue that you spoke so much about prior to March 23rd and after coming into office? I mean, come on, tell us about the lands at Crabs Peninsula. And I'm going to ask, I'm the representative for that area, that those lands are included in the agreement that you're signing with Stanford, that you're going to agree with Stanford. But the Honourable Minister of Finance and the Honourable Member for St. Philip South did not tell us that in his presentation today. I am saying that you have given away the lands that are now occupied by the Antigua and Barbuda Defence Force.
I want to know if it's the land that the Antigua.
I am saying, including the Antigua Bumi, make sure you find jobs for them people of power up there, and they're going to be treated equitably. That project is in St. Peter's constituency, and Joan Messiah is not the representative for St. Peter's. I am the representative. So any major decisions up there, I'm going to sit with the Honourable Minister of the Economy and the Honourable Member for St. Philip South. And we are going to dialogue. And we are going to consult. You don't worry, man. You have wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. That's why we all want to demonize Asset Michael up and down this country. But I'm not afraid of one single one of you over there. I'm a proud Antiguan, a young Antiguan, willing to serve this country, and I don't afraid none of you. So you can look in Bermuda, you can look in Cayman Islands, you can look in Russia, you can look in Liechtenstein. As such, A. Michael is a proud Antiguan. And any money I have belongs to me. Don't belong to the people in this country. I didn't take it from them. You know who's my grandfather? John Sark. He's of Guadeloupe and the late Asset Michael of Antigua. All right. Madam Speaker, you see they're disturbing me again? What about the environmental concerns of Ghana Island? What about the EAG? Where is your EAG? All that is out the window. You don't care that Stanford is going to build an artificial reef? You don't, all that don't matter. All that is out the window. No, but that is the points that you argued. When you sued Datatan, you took an investor to court. The first time in the history of any country. And an opposition, a majesty loyal opposition taker, an investor to court and blocking investment. And you said that Stanford was no good for this country. It is the wisdom of Harold Court and your deputy prime minister you have to thank for landing Stanford. Because you no love you and he no love you. And that is the truth, Madam Speaker. That is the truth. And he knows it, the Prime Minister knows it. Madam Speaker, I want to ask the Honourable Minister of Finance, do we need a new parliament building in this country this time? You say, Mr. Minister, that we are going to tighten our belts, that austerity measures, we all have to sacrifice, we all have to pay our fair share. How much is the new parliament building going to cost this country? Why do we need a new parliament building? $20 million, Madam Speaker, to satisfy who? Why do we need a new parliament? What's wrong with this? It has structural defects, it's falling down on us. I'm very comfortable here, Madam Speaker. Now I know, Madam Speaker, that the previous Labour Party government had that on the drawing board and we'll agree to it. But I'm saying that you should put that on hold. That cannot be a priority. When you're telling people you're taking 25% of their salary. That is not right. That is not a caring government. You're telling people first, and you're going to build a parliament building that costs $20 million, and by the time you add all the interest compounded over 20 years, It's over 60 to 70 million dollars to increase